So welcome everybody to September's energy forecast with myself, Roberta Robbins, and with my lovely friend, Nancy Reed. This is our fourth in a row forecast together, co-creating and giving you lots of different aspects of astrology, numerology, and all the other little things we see that are working together. So welcome, and welcome to September 1st as we are recording on this time, and we are actually live in my Cosmic Earth Weavers community. So hello to those that are in the community that are here live with us. You guys get to first chance right with us when we're doing these forecasts, and plus we love to know how things are going, if you have questions or the energetics, what you feel coming in too, because this is a collaborative community. So many of us have so much wisdom, right? So much different modalities and teachings and gifts to share with each other. And it's just beautiful how they all kind of weave together, and we see that thread, that energetic thread. And that's why I love doing forecasts like this, because when we're pulling in a few different things, we can still see that energy, right? That's mixing together to give us like a fullness of the feel, the essence of what's coming in for us for the month ahead. So, hi, Nancy. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. So no, Nancy's in BC, so she's really morning over there still. I'm noontime here in the Eastern Standard Time. So Nancy's got this quiet gentleness, which I think you probably have quite often, but
more so, yes.
and then it's wake up. So we both got coffee or tea or something with us here. For those that are here, hello Vula, hello Rosalie, I see you guys. Those two that I just said in our community, they are on the West Coast too, so it's definitely morning for you guys. And those that join us, other people, like let us know where you are, because I know where most of you kind of are located, but we have had new members come in this summer, so welcome the new members. I know a lot of you guys came in through festivals that I was a part of, and I got to meet new people and connections in various ways. So welcome. How do you guys feel about September? Do you get kind of giddy like I do? Like I totally do. Like knowing September was coming, I could feel this excitement, this newness. And even, I don't have any children. Nancy's got children. A lot of you in this community, no doubt, have had children that have been in school years. And there's always that feel with them, getting them ready. But I feel it. I'm like, for the last week and a bit, I've been like, the kids only have this much left of their holidays. They're going to be going to school next week. I'm so excited for them. I don't know if all the kids out there are super excited. I don't know. But I was always a kid that couldn't wait to get back into school, the new routines, the new classes, the new things we're going to learn, get and see friends again, getting to dive into kind of a routine, because hey, we're here in Virgo season, and Virgo wants us to be in routines or new routines, relook at everything. So I'm just curious how you guys feel about September. Nancy's like, Nancy, you want to share how you feel about September?
Absolutely. It's so funny because I always find that it's so contradictory for me, because I love summer so much, right? And then it's like everyone starts to get excited for the fall, and I absolutely love the fall as well. So it's like this, yes, I'm excited for, and hold on, I want to hold on to this a little bit longer, right? But I too was always that, like, September's always felt like the start of the year, that freshness, that newness, that excitement. And I really do feel it, like, as we get closer to September, I do feel like every month, every August, I always feel like something magic is happening this September. And to me, September really does have this really magical energy to it. And like I was just talking about it with the kids yesterday, it was like, yes, technically we have 3 weeks left of summer, but it is that stepping into that fallness, but it's still reminding, like, of all the abundance and magic around us in this harvesting season, right? So I am really excited for this month. Like I went to bed last night feeling like, yes, I feel complete on quote unquote summer break. Like, as you guys know, we killed it this summer, as did you. Those festivals you were at, I'm like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, I am ready for routine and adventure. We get to have both. We don't have to just choose. Like, yes, it's going to get busier, but with things that we want to do. And the other time we get to create the magic we want in this month. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love how you put like, it's not over. There's still adventures to be had. Rosalie is like, she's like empty beaches, meaning, everybody's kind of going back into things. And I'm like, yes, like I live in an area which I have Georgian Bay, I have the rivers, we got the hiking. Hiking's going to get even more popular around here, the mountain biking, all those other kind of things. But there's all of a sudden it gets a little more quiet from all the people out in the tourism that comes to our community. And I would think a lot of you guys being out west, we always say we're kind of like a little out west here in my area of the Blue Mountains area, because we have a lot of the things that out west has in BC. We're just at a lower, our mountains aren't really huge mountains and things, but that's what we get around here. So we get a lot of people that want to come to this area. So, it's like that quietness, and we get to use that. And Julie's here. Hi, Julie. The ponds. Yes, we are. Are you saying we have lots of ponds? Julie's got a beautiful pond, and she's got a stream, and she's got the river down the road, where she is. So there's just like, also, I would say, our bays, like the bay and various and the rivers, like they start getting to bath water almost. That's what like, so I love when it starts going back down and getting a little more refreshing, which no doubt Julie loves with her pond, because Julie loves going in and she goes all year long, and to enjoy the benefits of all those different temperatures, especially the lower colder temperatures. As I listen to her and the 10 Celsius and below, what it starts doing. Yes, Julie, I am paying attention to all those little things you talk about on your life. So we get to enjoy all that. And say Rosalie, beaches, I mean, we always see Rosalie, she's out on the beaches all the time, and Nancy, you're always out. So there's still beautiful adventures and things to happen for us. And September. Let's, now that we've had a little excitement of September, giddiness, and the summer might feel like it's a little bit gone, but it's not yet. So let's hold on to it as much as possible. Bring it with us. So this month of September, I just want to breathe. And every time I like think that, I'm like, September, there's that coolness. There's the leaves are already been changing around here. There's that Christmas. There's a smell that starts to change in the air, right? We can smell, I would say, earth more, right? And we have such abundance coming in here with everything with off the land, right? The fields, all the abundance of that. We are heading towards the second harvest this month with Mabon, which is also known as the Autumn Equinox. So we got that. And this month is a 7 energy, which I can tell you in the last couple of weeks, I've been like, what number am I in right now? Like, I feel like the energy has been doing this, that it's really been hard to almost feel it and land and grab it almost. Summer's been beautiful, but it has been, I think there's this untethering, right, that we're going through. And so I think September, we're going to start to feel this coming down, anchoring a little bit more of that higher plane. I don't know, fully anchored, but it may be that we feel like something's coming in, because the land itself and the month helps us. The season helps us, especially when we get to the third week. When we get into that equinox, we'll start to feel that, definitely that shift when we get into that season. We are still riding a full blue moon energy that came in literally 2 nights ago now. We're still riding that energy of having 2 full moons in August, and it was in Pisces. And did I write what degree it was at? It was 7 degrees, 7. Yeah. So we're still moving through that energy. And of course, it was powerful. I spent the last 2 nights outside with it. Thank goodness it's been clear skies here. And I brought back some things that I haven't actually done in a while, which felt good. And I felt that I noticed it was that there's that Virgo energy of getting back to some things. Like I did my crystals outside. I came in and I gathered a whole bunch of them and put them out that night. And I made a big, beautiful jar of moon water. And these are things I've done for years and years, but we ebb and flow. But here's Virgo season that came in on what 22nd to 22nd, I think it was, of August. And it's saying, hey, get back to some routines, get back to some rituals, get back to that sacred practice. What's new now? Because Virgo wants to, it's mutable. It wants to, I heard the word crash. It's not crash. It wants to clean and clear the slate so that we can get ready to rebuild again, which is what happens when we hit Libra season, which we will hit on the 23rd of this month. So we're kind of cleaning up what isn't working. Those 7 planets right now that are in retrograde for us are definitely helping us with that. Not to be afraid of those retrogrades. I swear, Mercury, poor Mercury. Poor Mercury.
Such a bad rap.
Everybody's talking about Mercury.
Bus.
Sorry. Just want to go hug Mercury. I'm like, what about the other freaking planets, people? Oh, it's got to be Mercury. Mercury's really bad this time. Well, yeah, we're feeling it a little bit more, but we're feeling it more because we got so many other things going on, especially Venus and Chiron. I would say those two have really been showing their heads, of like, hey, don't forget I'm in retrograde. And so things with relationships, right? Reviewing how we're communicating, especially within our relationships with each other. So it's a little more heightened. And of course, communication, Mercury. But we just think Mercury. Love Mercury. And just, the fact that Mercury, we see it retrograde 3 to sometimes 4 times in a year. So I just want to say that we have still 7 planets in retrograde as we start this month. And so lots is happening. There is that wanting us to just pause more, slow down. It's that review, that reflect kind of energy. So as we move into this beautiful month, like I said, we're still riding that energetic wave of the big, beautiful full moon that we are in, of this, 2 of them that we had in August. Those emotions, the inner realms have been heightened for us, hopefully. Nancy, what do you think? Have you noticed what's it affected you and anybody else that's here? How has it felt for you even the last week, it coming up to that full moon?
I think for me, it was really just taking that time and being really aware of taking time for myself, taking time. That review energy just keeps like that going inward and allowing the space. And we finally had rain here, which we desperately needed, so on one hand, it was like, oh, but I want to see this big, beautiful moon. But I'm so grateful that we have this rain. So it's okay. I know that her energy is still there and all of that. I don't need to, actually, that's a good segue. I don't need to see it to believe it. And I really feel like that is September's energy, this 7, that leap, that trust. And so it was another invitation for us to be like, you're like, oh, I was sitting out and I'm like, oh yeah. We went outside knowing that and danced in the rain because we knew the moon was there, but we didn't need to see it. And I really have been feeling that energy this last few days of just like, yes, like what is true for me? Where do I feel that in my body? I don't need any other influences to know that this is true. And I feel like that's also representative of the September energy.
Oh, perfect. Yes, because even with our 7, that 7 energy, right? It's that spiritual higher, it's a spiritual number, right? It's a higher knowing, higher trust and faith, and it's movement and change. We say slow down and all those things, but we just got to accept that time is probably not going to slow down. These months are just going to keep energy moving fast. But the fact that, yes, like, even if you can't see the full moon, not only do you trust and believe, like, you're like, I know it's there. I feel it. We feel it no matter whether we see something. So that's a really great thing. What are you feeling? What are you knowing? What is it that you believe in? What is it that you want? And I would say this beautiful, dreamy, full moon energy that we are in still is, I notice for myself especially, is, and if I'm having dreams about this, is what are those dreams? What are those desires? What are the things that maybe have gone through something? And what are the new things that you need to start thinking about calling back in for yourself and believing in again and trusting in again? It's not going to look the same, but it may have still. I think what I'm noticing is there's, and I hear it with people I'm talking with too, like Deborah Jones, I had as a sacred conversation guest the other day. Julie and I have been chatting about different things. And it is that we don't quite know what's still, we don't have the manual for what's coming or how we exactly want it, but we have an essence. And there is this calling in back parts of ourselves, right? Because there's been some things set aside, some things, aspects that needed to change and mature, and some things that just needed to go. And we feel almost something coming back. I know I feel that with some of the things I have coming out, that I am like, I'm reclaiming. There is a reclaiming. When I was sinking into this energy, that word reclaiming was coming in really strong too. What are you reclaiming? So Nancy, have you noticed that? The reclaiming, or anybody here in the Cosmic Earth Weavers group, are you noticing those things coming back in? Something that's building, there's energy rising, but it's a reclaiming of fine tuning of pieces of yourself?
Yes, absolutely. I have those same words written down. And that's why I was like, oh, just starting. I'm like, I just keep hearing that, like, and like, I hear lots of things just through song lyrics, right? And it's like, I keep getting that, like, it's all coming back, Celine Dion, kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, that reel is past. Like, people aren't, that's not in my head because I'm seeing it in reels constantly all of a sudden. But it was just like, oh, and just like, but that calling back really feels very strongly. And it's like, even with the kids and I were joking or not joking, but we were sitting there in the car the other day, and it was like, okay, what do we want to call back from other realms? What has gone out and done whatever it needs to do there, and now we need to bring it back here? Because we always say, like, when things go missing in the house, us from other dimensions are borrowing it because they need it, kind of thing. And so we're just like, okay, what are the things that we feel we want to call back to support us in this coming up season? And so it was just, I love that you brought that up too. We're just really feeling that right now.
I've been, I've been hearing that since, some of this energy almost coming in, prepping in August, of that callback. And I've been feeling that shamanic, like soul retrieval, and talking about those pieces and those essence again for us. And even, we've had 3 and a bit years of some things that we had to shift our energetics and change. So some things got put aside. For some people, things, it was extremely hard and difficult. Not to say it's not extremely hard and difficult at times for what we're going through. So there's lots of change, and everybody's at a different place and timeline and everything for that. But when that happens, when things are so challenging and almost shocking and frustrating, hurt and pain, like all the things that we know we've gone through, parts of our essence kind of moves out to kind of like go, I can't be in you right now. I'm tethered, always tethered. When I talk about soul retrieval, I don't think we're ever not attached to our soul. I believe, and when I do this healing work, is like threads. We're still tethered, but pieces kind of go out to be more safe. And so that other parts can come in and help us through those times. And that can happen in any part of our life, or trauma and various things. There's a wisdom of our soul that will tether out to go to be a little more safe on the outskirts. But sometimes we have to go, come on, I'm ready. Like, it's safe. Come on back in. And then there's an integration and a healing. So there's that feeling. And even September with that 7, it's like a wholeness, like a soul wholeness that's coming back in. I feel like we're doing this, definitely even this forecast, we're doing it in a different way that we did the last 3. times, guys. This is more of a blending of our conversation, lots of energetics, where before we went very clean and clear. And we'll give you a highlight at the end of this conversation. But can you tell Nancy we're like going about this
totally.
forecast differently in how we're talking and presenting it to you guys. So I want to just say, Rosalie here says, I feel there is a reclaiming of the power of influencing energy. I am reclaiming my true beauty. I am claiming my power. I'm claiming I am alchemy. Oh ho. Yes, sister. Like, forget Rosalie, have you claimed that out to the moon? Have you claimed that out to the water? Have you written that down, sister? Go do that. So powerful. What are we reclaiming? Thank you for that. So, Nancy, what are you reclaiming? Do you know yet? Do you know a piece or one or two things?
I'm reclaiming my belief in all unseen and not having to look for the proof of it. I feel like for so long that's been natural, and it still is, but it's like that. I want to take it even deeper. Like there's a new level of that is calling me forward right now. And just like, I don't have to even justify it to myself anymore. I just know, and that's all that matters. It's I know this because, or I know this because I feel it. No, I just know. And I'm reclaiming that this month. And so I am going to just segue into an oil because it does feel perfect for this.
But we're going to intuitively segue where we need to go for this forecast and the support of September.
Ginger is going to be the oil that I'm going to suggest for this month. It's the oil of empowerment. So since we're talking about what it is that we are reclaiming, this really invites us to recognize that we are in control of our circumstances, and that little bit of that Virgo energy with that review and practicality as well. Like, we get to look at what's in front of us, choose, co-create, and make choices. And I just really feel like the ginger is going to help us to do that. We can diffuse it. We can put it on our bodies. We can play with it in our foods. There's so many different ways to incorporate this to help you to up level with that 7 energy to your next greatest incarnation. That's not quite the word I'm looking for, but close. And what are you going to carry forward with you for the rest of this year and moving into 2024? Like, really, this month is really about self-empowerment and taking those leaps. And I feel this oil will help support you with that.
Beautiful. It's like an upgrading month, right? Too. It's like the next level. We can reincarnate if we'd like, or we could just ascend and upgrade into this, because there is all these, we talk about timelines, and I feel like I'm working and walking so many different ones in a day. Like, I can feel them and see them. And my dreams are more of that. And I've always been like that, but it's like, I almost get to choose what one I want to be dancing in, or be open that they're just that expansiveness, because next month is our 8 energy month, and we go into like a mastery kind of energy. I bring it in. And I want to say, because, I have my retreat coming up, which is something I'm reclaiming because it feels so good. And this autumn retreat is something I've done since, like so long. And I haven't done it in a few years for various reasons. And I'm having it at my friend Julie's property, which Julie's part of our community. And Julie's been talking about oils. And I asked Julie to do some oils and anointing at the retreat. And I heard her this morning say that the doTERRA, you guys have your thing at the middle or the end of the month, somewhere in September.
Yeah, September 15th-ish.
The 15th?
Yeah.
Just going to plug that in for you guys that are like doTERRA interest oils. I definitely say my 2 go-to people on that is Nancy and Julie. And they both have done teachings in our membership for those that are in that group, and it's under the guides. So you just look up their names. They've done some great stuff talking about the essential oils. So ginger, but like, also I was just thinking, when you're talking about all the essence of ginger and how it's working with us in September, it's also like, this is the time of year we start thinking about boosting our immune system. And I could see, turmeric wanted to come in there, and the black pepper, and those like the cinnamons, the clove, like all those things that are moving us forward to boost our immune system too, especially with little ones going back to school. Change of the temperatures are like up and down and all over the place. So there's a boosting not only to help us in all the things that Nancy just said, but also like the physical body. And as we increase our own vibration alone in empowerment, that's immunity. Like that's a boost, right? So then we help ourselves with it. So many great ways. I love that. So ginger, for this month, I love that you brought that in. 7 energy, I just like, it is, we're in a 7 energy year. Okay, guys, like just remind you this whole year, we're all feeling collectively a 7 energy year. We're all now in a 7 energy month. For those, we all have an individual personal year too. I know myself, I'm working with the 7 too. So I got 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And I know a few of you that are like that. Nancy, are you not that in the 7? You're not in a 7?
I'm in an 8.
You're in an 8, so you're the one ahead. Okay. I know my friend Maria that I've talked about, who's been in the group, she's in the 7 with me. So I'm pretty sure I have so many numbers for so many different people.
I know.
Are we? Yeah, I think we are. So there's just like this rise. And that 7 is just pulling us so strongly. Oh my gosh, it's so strong for this month. So I feel like there was something else I was going to add in there, but it kind of slipped on through. And of course, that we have, as I look down my notes, the 7 planets. And so I'm going to go over to focus over to a little bit of this astrology for us. And then we'll focus over to the numerology. Now, like I said, let's us ground in that deep breath, right? That we have arrived. Nancy and I have just chatted a lot. You guys have been chatting with us here. And we're just going to anchor in at this time note, and I will mark this in the recording. Grounding in that we are here. It is September. Today is September 1st. We have arrived into a fresh, new energy. Autumn is not here yet, but we feel it coming. We're in beautiful Virgo season, which is feminine, which is mutable. Like I said, wanting a fresh start. So it starts breaking down the old so that we can get to new in Libra season. So there's that mutable energy, washing, bringing things back down, collapsing it so there can be change, a shift. We also have that it's an earth, right? It's an earth sign, Virgo. So we're grounding in and we're feeling and smelling and noticing the changes of earth. We're reaping the abundance of what's coming off the fields, right? Those farmers have been working so hard. The farmers are feeling, they're almost like seeing a bit of I would say an end, but like the reaping of the work and everything, and getting to the end of this seasonal stage of the year for themselves. And we get to enjoy all that in our food that we're bringing in. So helps us bring Virgo helps us come in. And Virgo says, hey, we want new routines. We want to get organized in a new way. Virgo is practical and grounded. It is the maiden energy. So there's a freshness and newness to look at, something of excitement too, right? Even though she's not maiden part of the year, but her symbol is that maiden of like, I want something fresh and new to birth into almost. So there's that, and that 7, those 7 energies are just saying, hey, go to the next level. Like I said, we have 7 planets right now in retrograde. We're all talking a lot about Mercury because Mercury is in retrograde now, but we've been feeling a lot of Chiron and Venus. Now, Venus will go direct on September 3rd. So this is where you guys get your pen and paper and your calendars and mark any of these things. So Virgo will go direct on September 3rd. But the very next day, we have Jupiter going retrograde. So then we go back into a 7-planet retrograde. So the next day on September 4th, we have Jupiter going retrograde, and Mercury will go direct on September 15th. So the other planets, in case you want to know, I mean, lots of people have been posting about this, but we've had Pluto for a while in retrograde. Of course, you've heard me say Chiron. We have Saturn. Uranus just went retrograde. I think it was like the 27th or 28th of August. Mercury we've talked about, Venus we've talked about retrograde, and Neptune. So Venus and Jupiter just going to do a little shift. So Jupiter is going to be in Taurus retrograding. So we want to just think about Jupiter is that, as we all know, huge, huge, huge planet. It holds that energy of 3 of the expansion, of the abundance, the blessings, Jupiter. And it's in earthy Taurus, right? So earthy, another earthiness, and a very grounded and practical in the land, right? And sensual and beauty, luxury, all those things, and home. So there's going to be some reviews in big, beautiful ways. It's not that it's going to be negative. It's just we're going to review and fine tune of those energetics. Jupiter's going to fine tune things as it retrogrades in the earthy Taurus. Okay. So those are the planet stuff, the retrograde stuff that's going on. Moons. Let's go into some of the moon stuff. So, of course, you heard me. We're still riding this second full moon, which we call a blue moon then. From just a couple of days ago, we're still riding the energetics of that. But we move into our new moon in Virgo. So in its home seasonal place of Virgo, which is September 14th. It will come in at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's a 6:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 21 degrees. And it's a 3 energy day. So I'm going to let the 3, I like to put my little numerology. I'm like, so there's expansion, but Nancy will go into the numerology. So new moon, Virgo, fresh new moons. We know this fresh new beginning, the darkness going within, and really, well, what is it that I want to birth? What is the next? What is the newness, right? The quietness within that we've learned, and that Virgo energy that will go with that new moon. Now, 21 degrees. When we say the degrees, for those of you that need recaps that are astrology people or been in astrology with myself or need to know why are you saying that? If you know your birth chart, and if you don't, go to astroseek.com or astro.com, throw in your details. You need obviously your birth date, your location where you were born, and the time. And if you don't know your time, do the unknown mark, check mark, or I always like do the midpoint, do 12 noon, so you're close to that. It will give you a pretty good detail of like where those are. The other thing is then, so in these full moons, especially, or new moons and full moons, and things that are going through certain things, and people start talking about the degrees. So you'd want to look at where is 21 degrees of Virgo in your chart, because that's where it's highlighting. You would look at where that is, the house, those kind of things. Just for those of you, if that's just too much, you just let that go. You don't have to worry about it. But a reminder. And then our full moon in Aries, fiery new Aries. Aries meaning, it's the first location on the astrology chart. It is fiery. And it is in the full moon will be that, and it will be September 29th. And so I have 5:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we move that back to 2:57 Pacific Standard Time a.m. And it's at 6 degrees. So you would do the same thing. Look at 6 degrees of Aries. That's where that full moon's going to be illuminating in your chart. See where it is, see what's around it, see what the house is, see what the energetics are. You want to know about that? Nancy and I will be, definitely be doing some training on that in the fall, no doubt. At some time for you guys. And I notice that's a 9 energy day. So there's a completing energy to get ready for that as we end. The other thing I noticed, so those are the main things I have about astrology for us. I just want to talk about Libra. Sorry. So we go into Libra season on the 23rd. Fresh new, ready to start day. For those of you in the out west in the Pacific Standard Time, 10 minutes before midnight is when the sun will actually, that Libra season will actually start. But for us, obviously over here, it's going to be at 2:50 a.m. So we're to say the 23rd is our first full day of Libra season, meaning the sun has reached into that part of the zodiac sign. That's when we know that is a cardinal point, and we get an equinox happening within that too. So we get our autumn equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere, and we get Mabon, which is part of the sacred wheel of the year. So Libra, air, cardinal sign means we just went from the mutable that I talked about in Virgo. We are now going to go into cardinal, and cardinal says, hey, I'm ready to start something new. I'm ready to start it. I'm ready to start thinking, what is it's looking and feeling like, which is great for us as we finish off this month. It is a masculine sign, and Libra, you know, that's the symbol of that is the justice, the scales, the balance of the scales. And it is about justice, but it is also about relationships, balance and harmony, love, those kind of things too, because it's ruled by Venus itself, as Taurus also is, just give you guys a little bit extra of that. But I also didn't say Virgo. For those of you that don't know, the Virgo season we're in is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is working extra little hard right now with things. But when we go to Libra season, we're going to start thinking about the newness, the building to get going. We're masculine energy. We'll get that drive. We'll be wanting balance and harmony. And so does the Mabon season. The autumn season wants to have that balance and harmony, because remember, it's equal day and night energy that happens on the 23rd. I think those are your highlights for astrology. We've done a little numerology, but now I'm going to pass the torch. Let's go into more numerology.
Amazing. Thank you, Roberta. There was a lot there that I was just like, oh, I'm going to come back and listen to that again for sure. And I don't know if you guys noticed that I muted for a minute. This will come into play in a minute. So okay. So we are in September 2023. So this year, as Roberta and I mentioned earlier, is a 7 energy year. We are now in a 7 energy month. So this month is really a reflection of what this whole year has been asking us for. Now, it's composed of a 1 and a 6 energy to get the 7. So there's different ways of getting there. It can be a 2 + 5, a 3 + 4, all of those things. But all you need to know is that it's a 1 + 6. And so why I'm sharing this with you is because, yes, we are being called higher. We are being asked to leap. We are being asked to trust and to really lean into our spirit. But it is made up of this beautiful combination of numbers that this does not need to be scary. Right? Like sometimes people hear that calling higher, that change, that leap off the diving board, as my friend Jessica loves to refer to the 7 as, right? And those can all sound scary, but you are supported in that harmonious energy of the 6 that wants to hold you in this leap. So really, really trust. And that 1 is also that new start. So like we've said that so many times in this call already. Like, so I just feel like it was really important to call those 2 out because they are what is creating the 7 for us in this most magical way, it feels to me. Our September is also a 9 just on its own. So remembering that we are shifting and changing and releasing. Earlier when we talked about the farmers, like the word completion came to mind. Like it's not really an ending, it's just a completion, like to move forward on to the next thing. So today we're starting out this beautiful month of September with the 8 energy paired with the 10 of diamonds, which is when we do the numerology with the cards. And to me, it's just asking us to open our eyes wide and see all of the abundance around us, and to really just receive and give and go with the flow. 8 is one of my favorite numbers. Like just like feel that flow and that magnificence today. So if you can take some time today and just take, quote unquote, take stock and express gratitude for what it is that is all around you and what is to come. And then we move into tomorrow, and we have this 9 energy paired with the 9 of diamonds. So I don't know if you guys know this, but 2 days ago, 3 days ago, we had the 9 with the 9 of hearts. And that was like our biggest release of the year. That was also paired with the super blue moon, right? So that day was just like full of space to just release and let go. So tomorrow we get that all over again, but just a little bit differently, because this is going to be more about in the physical, whereas the hearts was around your emotions and your feelings and your desires and all of that. Tomorrow is an amazing day to clean your physical space. So the point about muting was my new vacuum cleaner was just delivered. So maybe this is a hint that I need to clean my, well, it's true, there's dog and cat hair everywhere, but that's okay. But so not cleaning your home, maybe that's something as simple as saging or diffusing some oils that work in the same capacity, tea tree, lemongrass, something like that, if you don't like to actually burn smoke, which I know some people don't. It's one of my favorite things to do, but get out your broom. And whether you have a special broom like I do for this, or just your regular sweeping the floor broom, and just get into the corners of your house and shake that air, the air and the energy up. Have your windows and your doors open and just move that energy through your physical space so that you can enjoy all of this newness and freshness that we've been talking about for the energy of this month. Also, your physical space is your body. So tomorrow would be a really good day. Make sure you're drinking lots of water and add some lemon to that water to help cleanse your body. Do cold plunge. Tomorrow would be a great day to do a cold plunge. Now I know Roberta's saying that the water in your is pretty warm still, but there are places. Get your garden hose out. It doesn't need to be difficult. One of my favorite ways to go, or jump into a cold shower. Like, it does not have to be a big deal, but take a few moments for yourself and just to help to clean your space. September 11th is a one energy paired with the Queen of Clubs. So the clubs energy is really mental. It's your thoughts, your ideas, what you want to share out, how you communicate. The Queen of Clubs really wants us to tap into our intuition and own that our beliefs and our inner knowing. So that's a beautiful day paired with the one to just really trust yourself. So what I was talking about with what I'm reclaiming this month, like boom, 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 that day as it set out. Sorry, I said the 12th. I said the 11th. I meant the 12th. But just really own your own power that day. Use bergamot on your solar plexus if you have it. And if you've got citrine, just really bring that into your space and really tap into your own inner knowing and claim it that day. Roberta talked about the new moon in Virgo and the 3 energy of that day. So that's the 3 really wants us to amplify and also to be aligned. So think about like aligning your heart, your soul, your mind, your body, all of those things, and that alignment. And then once you're in alignment, then amplify out what it is that you want in the world, your thoughts, your ideas. That's a really powerful day to do that. So if you have things that you want to share out into the world, things that you want to share with the moon, intentions, all of those things, that's a beautiful day and a beautiful energy to do that. The 3 also asks us to tap into our creativity. So whatever that means to you, take some time on that day to do that. So maybe you love to cook, maybe it's words, maybe it's dancing, whatever it is, like it's nobody else's business. It's just yours and what makes you feel creative and alive. The 22nd, we have the 2 energy partnered with the 2 of clubs, and it's the 22nd. So a lot of 2s there. So 2 wants us to be in connection and community and partnership. So that's a beautiful day to connect not only with yourself and spirit, but also with others around you. So maybe it's the people in your home, the people in your community. Maybe there's a conversation that you have been wanting to have with somebody that you're like, yes, I think we would do so amazing at partnering together in this. That's a beautiful day to support you in that energy. And then the full moon, we have the 9 again, as Roberta shared, and it's partnered with the Eight of Hearts. So it wants us to release, but it also wants to remind us with that beautiful Eight of Hearts that we're giving and receiving. So remembering the back of your heart and the front of your heart, like they need to be in balance and being able to give and receive. So really use that energy to stop looking outwards to others and just to tune into yourself and allow that flow of giving and receiving, and use that 9 to let go of the stories that are blocking that. We're starting the month out in the diamonds, which is very physical. So makes sense, right? We're preparing right now for those of us who have kids going back to school, and even those of us who don't. Like in all the years that I didn't go to school myself and didn't have children, I did always feel this, I would get new pencils. I would get, like, I have always preferred the journal that starts in September and then carries forward. Like, I would always get a new one of those that time of year and stuff, right? So there is this preparing. We're also starting to prepare for fall and for winter and harvesting. So that physical energy is very present right now. And then we move into the queens, into the clubs, but and we're into our thoughts and our ideas. So in the middle of the month, it's like we're thinking of what we want to do next, what we're bringing into fruition. And then we move into the hearts for the remainder of the month. And it's like, okay, we've thought about all the things we want to do. Now we're bringing it down into our bodies and we're feeling it, and we're starting to express it outwards as we're creating what this next season feels like for us and what we want it to bring forward. I feel like that. I had written something else down here where I feel like this month is just a really beautiful weaving of our dreams and action. So it's not one or the other. It's like letting them flow together as we're continuing taking it to the next level. It's not about the hustle and grind. It's about allowing and trusting and flowing and believing, but also doing some things, right? I'm a real good dreamer, and sometimes I need that, but I'm also really good at getting shit done. But so it's finding that balance, right? I think I'm complete on that.
Awesome. Amazing. I'm like, you know what I noticed there? Just okay, it's like great. You said I'm a great dreamer, and the getting into it, getting it, like actually the energy that happens. And the great thing is this month supporting you, supporting all of us with that energy to make it happen too, right? And the other thing I know is, how like we are ending with those hearts. Now, I should say, for those of you that are like, I don't know what you guys talk about, diamonds, hearts. Club sounds like you're playing cards. Well, we kind of are. That's cardology and numerology put together with those daily energies that we're coming up with. And the 24th is when the King of Hearts, correct, Nancy? I got that written down properly. The King of Hearts starts, the heart start. And then the hearts are the heart, the emotion, or those relationships. Interesting enough, we also have just gotten into Libra season, and Libra is, bringing us by, it's ruled by that Venus, right? So it is helping us come back into the heart space too, but also still in that balance and that harmony in a masculine way. So we get shit done still.
Totally.
Right.
And I just noticed, as you said that too, it's paired with the 4. Yeah. And so it's like that stability and that foundation and the 4 chambers of your heart. Like as you were, I'm like, oh my God, there's another beautiful day that day.
Yep. Yes. And I'm just going to point at that, the 22nd, the 222. So we're talking about, it's a 2 energy day. It's a 2 of clubs. So communication, especially with each other. And that's going to be super fantastic. And it's the 22nd. So we got a lot of 2s there. 4 of them. And I'm like, we want to collaborate. We want to be together. I'm like, I'm just going to plug. That's when the autumn retreat starts.
Knew it.
Come together. I really would love my out west group. I wish I could teleport you all here for that weekend. So it's like, that's such an the 222, because we're working so much about coming together in new ways. And say Deborah Jones and I just talked about that in community. This is what Cosmic Earth Weavers about. Nancy and I chat about it. We chat about it personally, behind the scenes, and when we're talking about what we want and where we're moving through to things. And there is that coming together and new partnerships and that harmony and balance with it. So that's going to be a really powerful day, since it's also the last day of Virgo season. So, take all that one in as the wheel turns, as we shift the seasons there. And I love, you said you have a special broom. I have a special broom to clean and clear, my witchy broom. So yeah, we got to, we always feel, I think we feel the shifting of the physical spaces really good at the equinox time. Spring, we also get over in spring equinox, right? When we're thinking about that too, the cleansing, the clearing. And so feather wand, even taking a beautiful feather wand, drumming energy, sweep it and move it, right? Out, open up the doors, open up the windows, move it up and out, bless it as it goes, ask it to be transmuted so that more beauty can come in and get those, like, even think about, this is where I'm like already starting to keep my eye on those autumn plants, like the mums. Like I'm thinking, oh, what will my front door plants want to be? Soon we'll start, if we haven't started seeing them already, some places maybe have, but we start thinking gourds and pumpkins and that autumn-ish feel of freshening up our home, our front door, the invitation of that. So like all of those things will help move the energy as we do those physically. And, Nancy talked about ginger, and heard her say bergamot. And there's definitely like some of those other energies that I'm sure like tune in to what wants to come into your body, into your space. The aromas, the scents, those kind of things into your life. I always start thinking about soups. I'm like, the squashes will start to, the apples, the apple cider, like those, we're starting to shift. We may not be quite feeling it right now here at the start of September. We're still enjoying the beauty and the bunch of summer. We're still in summer, but we'll start to feel those things coming in, and we'll start to, even that switch of the wheel, the sacred wheel of the year, and we get the Mabon equinox coming in there. We'll have that shift that start to happen at the end of September. And that's also where, like Nancy said, it's the heart, the emotion going in, it's home. And we start thinking of those things that is comfort, is warmth, those kind of things. So there's going to be that shift that's going to happen in 3 weeks too, right? There's that extra little boost in there for us. Thank your farmers. Have, all the things. You go get your food. You go to local produce stands and things like that, or people that you might know that are, our farmers. Thank them for all the hard work that they've done and all the abundance and nutrition. Thank your food. We should always be doing that, but there's something more enjoy and be present in the fact that we have a higher vitality in what we're taking in right now, because we know here, as we go through winter months, the food and our choices will change if we're eating with the seasonal and what's around us, especially in places like I am, where we have 4 seasons. So we get winter, right, throughout those months, and things change, and the food will get a little heavier and denser, because it's also that's hibernation and going in kind of food, where we're still in this lighter energy, but the food itself is starting to change into those grounding root vegetables soon, right? So I'm bringing all that, the feel, to also help us just ground into where we are, because like we said, the time is going so quickly. I think about, where the heck did August just go? Now, I think every month I go, where the heck did that month just go? And what I'm missing is, I lived and I was present in all of it. I know I was. And yet there's something that something's different. Something feels different as it's landed or rooted in, but I want more of it. So I have to take the time to do some different ways to kind of root it in anchor it in. And so what I'm going to suggest, I know I've suggested for myself that I'm going to do, and I suggest for you guys is taking a piece of paper or get your journal or whatever it is and go from the beginning of September through and like remember and feel, like look, pull at a counter and go, what did I actually, high notes of, oh, this is how that month started. Yeah, I did that. Oh, I enjoyed that. And just feel it and pause every time you write down something, go up, breathe in and anchor it in because it's going so quickly. But I have the feel like for me, I'm like, I want it a little bit more ingrained in. And it's just because we are moving so quickly with energetics right now. And we are tethering between various timelines. We're letting go, we're moving up. And so it is a little harder for us to bringing it in, even though we are fully there when we're doing it. No doubt, Nancy, you've had a freaking full summer. I know I've had experiences and things that have just been beautiful and full. And no doubt many of you have. My sense is I still want to weave it in a different essence. So that's what I'm going to do as a personal practice too for today, is just take a little bit more time. And I've been thinking about even last year, this time I was in Ireland, and I keep my yearly, my calendar note journal things. And I do like you do, Nancy, we have kind of the summertime start of the calendar to the full year and a bit. And I've been feeling like I want to just also go back and look at where I was. And I've been thinking, like, where was I on this date? What was I enjoying? Because it almost anchors me in all the beauty of the full last year and how life has shifted and all the like. So I invite you, if those feel good and right, just to take some time for that. 7. See, it just came back. Remember when I was talking about the 7-7, I said there was something else I was going to say. The 7 is that tarot card of the Chariot. That's what I wanted to bring in there. And so there's that movement forward and the bounce. Once again, we're working through it all year long, but there we are working again. And as Nancy said, we're working with a 1 and a 6. So you want to look at the Magician, all your tools. And then you want to look at the 6, which is the Lovers. And that balance and harmony and relationships, bringing all those 3 cards in together to work with you in September. That's what I wanted to add to that too. Such a good month. I love September. I mean, I love summer too. And I love May. May is one of my favorite. So let's have a beautiful, beautiful month. Nancy, anything you want to add before we wrap up our time for today?
I have 2 quick things. First, noticing that you and I are burning matchy match candles and that your shy wolf one in the corner. But the one that I just put on my altar for September was the Magician. So I loved that I just did it because I was like, oh, this one feels fun. And then I was like, oh, well, there's some reasoning for that one. And then the other thing is it is September 1st. So if you want to do this practice, get some peppermint oil and water and wash your front doors and cleanse the energetics and to welcome in abundance, and then get some powdered cinnamon. If you don't have that, a cinnamon stick, cinnamon oil, whatever, or just call in the energy of it and blow it into the front door of your home and welcome in abundance for this month. That's a practice I like to do at the first day of every month. So I just thought I would share that with you guys.
And I love that you reshared that, because I remember you had brought that in with one of our start of our months. Right. Great reminder. And something as we've been talking that it's been there is rosemary. It's been like going rosemary, Roberta. So if you have rosemary bushes, maybe this is the time that you start harvesting them to use them for your spices. Maybe this is where you refresh them. Rosemary by the door invites, the good individuals, the good folks. It's a protection type energy too, all that by your front door. But there's something about rosemary this is coming in very strong. And as we were talking about the candles, mine is up over there. You can see it at the top of the shelf. I have Aurora going, which my friend Maria gifted me with, which was part of a special edition of the Daisy Jones and the 6 candles that she did. And so Shy Wolf look her up online. She's actually around my area. She makes amazing candles. Yeah. What one's that? Sweet Emotion. Oh, yeah.
Sweet Emotion.
I got the honeycomb down there too. I mean, down sitting in the box still. I love the High Priestess and I love the Lover. So she does ones for the tarot. She does just beautiful smelling candles. And I'm gonna plug another person. She's in my area too. We have a lot of people. They're doing amazing candles over here. Oh gosh, what is her? I'm gonna tag it later. I don't want to get it wrong. I just came across her, but she does these candles called the Caliac, enchanted. I'm like, when I saw her Caliac one, which is the crone, we're going to the Caliac season, guys, for Samhain, the next turn of the wheel. I mean, she just got some witchy kind of good stuff. So just candles. We start thinking about candles and light a little bit more as we go into season 2. Okay, we could keep talking.
Totally.
Thank you, everyone that's dropped in. I've seen people kind of come and go out of this for the time. Rosalie, you're probably still here with us. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nancy, once again, coming in and doing this. It's always fun to do this and weave everything together. I'm going to get this posted, also upload it to YouTube, and you guys can share that link around, subscribe, share, all those lovely things, and let us know how you're doing. And if you have things you'd like to do in September and to prepare for the turning of the wheel or any of those kind of things, let us know what shifts for you, and what you're calling it, because September and Virgo season is also about, as Nancy said, our physical body, because we also start thinking about moving the body and getting back to the health and wellness of things too, which is really important. So that new kind of routine in a new way. Our bodies are changing. I just want to say this, our bodies are always changing energetically, physically, especially us women, as we're going through different things. So it's like looking at what doesn't work, clean and clear, what is new, what's going to work, or we don't even what's new that we want to bring in that will have better effects for us and harmony at this point of our lives. So, all right. Oh, Vula's here still. Okay, I pull that. Thank you. Enjoy this month. And I'm sure we'll see you throughout this whole next 30 some days. Bye for now.